You've clicked onto Engineering on the Cheap. Today's episode, we're going to look at a cheap China bike. It's a pocket bike. I don't know how many cc's it is. It does not say on the engine. So it's less than 50 cc's for sure. Just does not have the power. But we don't care about that. We care about the rear axle and swing arm. And right now, it is garbage. Can't hold the axle in position. Chain keeps on coming off. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna make a nice plate. We're gonna weld it. We're gonna put a groove in it. We're gonna do it on both sides. We might do a nice axle adjuster here, or we'll keep the same, we're not sure. But what's needed is a nice slot where the axle can pinch onto and hold the axle into position. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Okay, so the first steps is we're gonna just loosen up these axle adjuster nuts here. Okay, one there, one here. Just loosen them off. We're gonna loosen off the axle nuts. Take off the axle and slide the tire out like that. And the brake stays on. And we have your collars. Keep each collar on each side so you know. Okay, so here's your axle spacers or collars. Now this is the problem. The diameter of that inside and outside is virtually the same as your slot. So this collar could even go inside the slot. As you can see, it's going right through. So we need to make a nice plate here, weld it on with a groove that just accepts the axle with tight tolerances. And again, do it on both sides. Okay, so another upgrade, what we're gonna do is make new spacers, axle collars, okay? So we're gonna make it out of this nice material here. This is the start of another project, which I'll just turn this into collars. All right, so I just have to drill it out a little bit bigger or bore it out. We'll use the milling machine for that. I have to cut it to the right size, and we need 2 of those to replace the existing. All right, so this is what we need. We got to make 2 of these. So 1.6 inches like this, 2.4 inches long. There's going to be a slot. Oh, the depth of the slot. I didn't delineate that. Okay, so anyways, the width of the slot is 375 thou. The thickness of this metal is 183 thou. Now for those collars, we're gonna go with this, right? The diameter is here, plus or minus whatever. Now the width, one of them is, we're gonna subtract the width of this plate, right? Because the plate is nice thicker. Comes out to be, we need one 352 thou, maybe 350 will go. And this one here about 440 thou. Okay, basically we're just drilling the hole. It's pretty uneventful. Okay, so we have the collars, axle collars done. All right, we're gonna remove these ones. And yeah, remember how I said plus or minus whatever? It's whatever it is, and it's great. There you go, here you go, machined. Good enough. Oh, my buddy loves it when I say that, good enough. So we're making these supporting swing arm brackets here. We cut them out with the grinder, and we're just gonna take them to 1.6 inches. We're gonna do that on the milling machine, even though we probably don't have to, but we wanna make, let's see here, do we really have to? We wanna mill, that's the whole thing. We wanna mill, we wanna do machine shop stuff here. So we're gonna mill it to size. And oddly enough, I might keep it longer like that. See? With a nice slot in there. And don't go right through. And we'll weld here, weld there. And I think it's gonna be a good system. So we're just milling it to size, right? We'll try and get within 2 thou. We'll try and target it for 2 thou. Right, so 1.6 plus or minus the 2 thou. Okay, here's the pieces, 2 pieces. We're just gonna measure them up and see what we got. There you go. Measurement. Ooh, that one's a little bit. There you go. So this one looks like it's ooh, okay. And we see we're pretty much, well, I think there's a chip under there now, but there you go. Okay, somewhat new direction here. We are going to make this item. So we're going to start off with this stock here, but we're going to, the thickness of it, we'll make it about 200 thou. It's like a washer. And we'll drill a hole in the center, 375 thou. Okay, so now with it tightened up, it's pretty much 0 all the way around. Okay, there we go. Just trust my word for that one. Okay, tighten up those freaking balloons. Okay, here we go. We already center drilled it. Alright, so we just milled 100 thou down. Now we're going to turn it like this and mill 100 thou down. And the part is coming alive. I went with 350 thou. I always can make it smaller, so we're gonna make 2 of them 350 thou. This way. So far we've got 6 components. We have the axle collars, okay, the spacers, and we have these guys here, which are going to turn into these guys, right? We're going to make these guys here from this. And we have also the swing arm plates, we'll call them. I'm going to put a groove into the plates. So again, these are going to go here. Then there will be a stud put inside there, and they will hook onto the back of these for the adjustment of the axle, right? And so what we got to do is this. We got to put a nice slot in there. I was going to originally do these 2 plates together. That's why I milled them to the same dimension, but I'm just going to do 1 plate at a time. Takes a little bit longer, but we'll just do it like that. The repeatability, it's not even an issue. We've dimensioned up this drawing here. We're going to go 0.6 inches to the round, and then half of the 3/8 is this number here, 187 or 188 thou. Right, so we're going to bring from the edge to there, drill a nice 3/8 hole right in there. We'll drill another hole in there, and remember this plate extends here, so the slot's going to be up to just here. Then you'll have some meat. The meat of the matter on the back. We might shorten that up a little bit. We'll see how that feels when we get to it. Okay, so I've drilled 2 holes in the locations that we need drilled, and now I'm going to use this end mill, which happens to be a better quality end mill that I have, and we're going to see how good it does it. And I'm using nice collar. Yeah, let's break that end mill right away. So, let's get to it. Okay, herein lies the problem I have with this milling machine. Okay, so I had to drill 2 holes there. That's fine. Now, to lower this, it's not an E-mill, right? It's this type of a mill. I put the end mill in here, but I have to loosen the column, right? Loosen the head. Now this can move now. So this whole thing can just rotate. You see it? So now I'm obviously with my dials and my measurements, I'm going to be like way off. So now I have to relocate the holes. Good luck. Well, thank God this part doesn't have to be so accurate. I'm just going to do it like this and eyeball that. And Bob's your uncle, and keep my same measurements there. And the cutter's gonna cut to what it has to cut. Okay, so like I just eyeballed it, I counted my dials to bring it back, and there you go. It's pretty good. So here I can just pour right through, right? Okay, so I had just undersized that hole ever so slightly, but now we're gonna start milling. We're gonna mill our slot. We're gonna have to go. It's 1 inch, 1.425 inches to meet up with this side. All right, and we're just gonna make this slot. Okay, so now we're coming up to the 0 point and then the 25 dot. There you go. Now we're going to lower it down, 10 thou, and repeat. And remove the chips and a little bit of coolant. Option 1. Okay, there you have it. 1 done, 1 to go. Okay, so we have 2 of them made out. The width of the slot is supposed to be 1.8, and there we have it, the 1.8, 7 thou. The distance from here to here is supposed to be 0.6, but we're 0.58, so off by 20 thou. And the width of the slot is supposed to be 375, and we got, let's call that a 382. 380 shown here. Okay, so you have that piece. We have the collar on the other side, and we have this shaved off collar on this side. We're gonna make that into the slack adjuster, the chain tensioner that is, right? And we're gonna grind the swing arm so that this chain adjuster, it could slide inside the slot of the swing arm, but it'll rest hard against this slotted piece of metal. Right, so it's coming along. Okay, so we're just drilling holes here. We're gonna tap the collars, the adjusters, and we're gonna put your M5s in there. Okay, so we tapped the holes. M5, 0.8 is the pitch. And that's good enough. So we're going to cut these heads off, and we'll have our studs inside your chain adjusters. Okay, so we're going to go with like a 250 thou, 1/4 of an inch away from there, and we're going to put a 90-degree up. Okay, so we have almost 2 axle adjusters here. You can see this one here has the stud in it, this one doesn't. So we want to know where this stud wants to go inside this member here. And we really don't know the size of this one, the height of it, but we really don't care. But we measured it up parts of it. We just measured it up like from the bottom here. And we know we just have to go in the center of that member and 355 thou down and drill a hole. Now the hole we're going to drill is going to give some clearance to the stud, and this is a metric stud, so that's 5mm stud, and the hole is going to be something 64. There you go. So this one's already, I have the nut there with 2 washers. We just gotta weld now. So we're gonna weld that and weld it inside there. A nice little seam. Okay, we are in the welding department. Then we're going to use a 6013 564 rod. We'll probably try and use 50 amps, and we'll run a total bead along there, right along here, and then we'll do the inside. The inside about just up to the hole here. Okay, and we're going to see how that comes out. So I got my welding sleeves on, and we're ready to weld. Okay, so this is the second one. I've already welded the first one. So we got our bead there. Enough. And this one I just tack welded with the 6013. I don't even need the tack weld probably. Hopefully it doesn't warp out of shape. Oh dear God. I'm just gonna run it like so on the inside, and let's do that now. Okay, so there you have it. Did a little bit of grinding. This one here, you can see there's less wormholes. This one here had a few wormholes deep inside, right? Inclusions, as they're also known, right? And there's the back of it. There's the back of this one. Okay, we'll keep the weld. Okay, so we're back into the shop now, and we have the slack adjusters here, and they're gonna go just like that. One on this side and one on the other side. So now we'll have to just grind this slot here a bit bigger so that this component can slide right inside. It's almost can do it on this side. Over here, it's a little different story. We'll grind a little bit more. But we'll just draw out about, I think it requires just under 100 thou on each side. There you go. So now that could slide inside there. Okay, so there you go. It's perfect. Slides inside. This is welding on, so this will bear against here. And there you go. I just have to, when I weld it, just make it so you can take it off, just like that, and not like that. So you can't take it off. Just gotta have the clearance to take it off. We're good. Just gotta open up the other side now. Okay, so to help us position where to weld the slack adjusters, what I've done is I've put these two members together with a little bolt in between, right? Now I'm going to put 2 bolts so it holds in the slot very centered. Now this is going to hold it in line with this. So that's the position it has to be welded. I'll tighten that up so that these are in line holding that, and this is, and then all we need now is 1 clamp to hold it on to here, and we can weld here and weld underneath and the front. Okay, so we're trying out the MIG. We got a little bit of wormholes there. We're trying not to blow through this thin metal, but it's coming out. We'll just we'll grind that in nice shape. So we have it clamped on. This is just 2 of these units are on there to just stabilize it within the slot. And yeah, we're gonna weld underneath. We'll weld a little bit more here. Okay, so we have one side welded on. We use the grinder to make it a little bit nicer looking. And there we have the area where your slack adjuster slides. Now, we gotta work on this side. So put this side in there and continue. Okay, so now we got this side in place, positioned in place and ready to weld. We'll just weld up this side as best as we can. Okay, so we did this side here, And we're just putting it all down. And we just push the tire forward. And now we're just gonna put the slack adjusters on. Almost. And I'm just realizing that these are not long enough, eh? These studs might not be long enough, which is a bummer. Okay, so the job is done. Chain is a bit loose. You'll come here, you'll tighten this up a little bit. Chain becomes a little bit tighter. Tighten it up even a little bit more. There you go. There you go. You have a tight spot in the chain though. But there you go. Have it. Done. Job well done. And we cannot try this bike out because it has a flat tire. So we have the collars in there. And we went from something that wasn't so good to something that's pretty good. So thanks for watching Engineering on the Cheap. Yeah? Give her.